What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Tony Blackmon here with Paramount Property Investments. Just wanted to drop in with you guys and leave you a couple of tips regarding real estate investing. One thing I want to talk about is credit. Now, there's a lot of great information, a lot of great teachers in regards to credit and credit expertise. One of the people that I got to give a shout out to was Mr. Will Roundtree. Mr. Credit is King. He has a wealth of knowledge in regards to building your credit. Definitely find him on social media, follow him, friend him. He does a lot of good work for the community. One thing I've learned from him is that your credit score is not the end-all be-all in regards to building wealth. The reason I say that is because most people focus on being in the 700 club and things like that, and that's all well and fine, but the thing is that you shouldn't just focus on your credit score, because you should always be using your credit to actually leverage yourself into position of wealth. And what I mean by that is your credit score is just one factor in regards to getting leverage from the bank to get you into an income producing asset. So for example, a person who is young or old who may not have the strongest credit profile but has a 700 credit score, but all they've had was a cell phone bill, $100 cell phone bill in their name that they paid on time for years. If you're going to the bank to buy a property, whether it's an investment property or whether it's a home, a personal residence for your family, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to get approved for that loan, because you got to think about it this way. Why would the bank feel comfortable lending you $250,000 or $250,000 when all you've been able to prove is that you can keep up with a $100 cell phone bill in your name? You got to think about that. So what you want to think about and what you want to think about doing is having a strong credit profile, and how you do that is having a strong mix, a good mix of credit reporting on all 3 bureaus. So you want to make sure you have a few unsecured credit cards that you're keeping below a 30% utilization rate. Meaning, if you have a $1,000 credit limit on that credit card, don't go over a third of that balance. So that would be about $300. Don't go over a third of that. Otherwise, the banks will look at you as a person who's frivolous in their spending, and they consider that to be maxed out. You want to have a good mix of unsecured loans that you've paid off on time. Having some secured credit cards, meaning giving the bank a lump sum of money, then putting it in an interest accruing bank account or CD, and then them issuing you credit based off of that collateral you gave them. They're going to give you a credit limit. You can actually be an authorized user on somebody's credit card, right? So you need to have a mix of good credit history. If you need further consultation on that, I strongly advise that you get in contact with the credit specialist. My recommendation is Will Roundtree. So one thing I just wanted to leave with you guys in regards to credit. Another thing I wanted to touch on is there's been a lot of debate in blogs and social media, different experts talking about real estate investing, whether or not you should build your portfolio around single-family properties or large commercial properties, residential properties or apartment buildings. I'm hearing a lot of people say, you should never buy a single-family home because you don't have as much cash flow in larger commercial properties, or as much cash flow as larger commercial properties. And if anybody moves out of your single-family home, you have 100% vacancy, versus if you have a 100-unit building, one person moves out, you still got other tenants in there paying you rent every month. And there's definitely some truth to that. However, I'm a strong believer in having a mixed portfolio, meaning if all my investments is in large commercial deals, the thing you got to think about is that, most, if you haven't heard already, 5% to even 2% of the world's population owns all of the real estate, all of the assets, right? So my commercial building is, only going to be appealing to a small group of the population. Therefore, I'm going to have a much harder time, or much more difficult time in getting liquid, selling the property in case I have an emergency, or maybe I want to put my kids through college, or maybe there's a loved one I want to help out financially. I'm going to have it's going to be a longer process in me getting liquid versus the other 95%, 97% of the population is always going to be interested in either buying a home or renting a home. So, if I need to get liquid real fast, I can sell a property if I price it right, and get 50 grand liquid, 100 grand liquid, in 30 to 60 days. So I think that although you should always go for a greater cash flow in commercial deals, and, also it's a better maintenance issue in regards to property management. You can have one central property and have one property manager manage one property. I do believe you should have single-family residences in your portfolio. I just think it's common sense in regards to investing, and just investing one-on-one. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Just like I say, real estate is the #1 wealth-building vehicle in the world. I still believe you should have other assets that you invest in. You definitely want to be diversified, just in case one investment goes south. You have other investments in other areas that are taking care of you financially. So diversify. Although I'm pro real estate, always diversify. So that's all I really wanted to leave you guys with for today. I know this video was lengthy. Just thought I'd drop in. If you have any questions regarding buying, selling, or investing in real estate, definitely give us a holler. You can reach me at 330-685-2220, or just visit the website, www.investparamount.com.